This is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Oakland Raiders and the Philadelphia Eagles. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. It's an early test here after 2 losses to start the season, and a game they probably really need.
Obviously, no way do they want to get to 0-3. Not many teams make the playoffs with that kind of a start.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Raiders, they come in at an early crossroads here, facing a tough opponent on the road where a loss would make them 0-3.
And when you start that way, doubts really start to creep into a locker room, and guys start to battle each other instead of worrying about winning games.
This one fielded at the 5. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So here comes the Raiders offense now onto the field. They're led out by their quarterback out of Fresno State, Derek Carr.
And frankly, this is the type of game that a great quarterback relishes because 0-2 on the road, everything's against him and his team. No one can expect them to win. Sometimes you band together real tight in that situation, and if he plays really well, they've got a chance to get that done.
They'll run it now out of the gun, and he'll be taken down right around the 27. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. And this offensive unit should have a lot of juice coming off the big output that they had 1 week ago.
Nothing like confidence, is there? When you've played well the week before, you can't wait to get back on the field and do it again.
Now Carr throwing on second down. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, third down. For the Eagles, a look now at the starters on the defensive side of the ball. This unit, they're hoping to improve against the pass because right now, Charles, number 27 in the NFL.
They'll take that play right there each and every snap because throughout this season, they've given up some big plays. To be able to hold someone to no gain, oh yeah, they'll take that one all game long.
Third play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5. Shotgun now for Carr. Dancing to his left. He may try and run for this. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. Carr can beat you in a lot of ways. The scramble there, a perfect example as he gets the first.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not. And this is incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th. Read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Carr will try it again on 2nd down. And that'll be incomplete.
The touch and timing are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Working from the gun, it's Carr. And the third down pass falls incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. That'll be a 48-yard punt, 1 yard on the return. And the Eagles will be backed up deep to get the drive started as they take over 1st and 10. So here are the Eagles now backed up to start their first drive. They'll be led out by their 6'5" quarterback out of North Dakota State. It's Carson Wentz.
And I saw that he had an interesting quote in the research packet that we had after last week's game. It's all on me now. I've got to lead my team and find a way for us to win a game. 0-2, but they're at home. I guess he's going to try and find a way to get the home crowd involved early.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And nothing doing on his first run. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Come on now. Come on now. Let's go. Go.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
Offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. So after the penalty, heading in the wrong direction, 2nd and 15. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. 3 yards on the gain. They're going to need to do better on this next play. It'll be 3rd and 12. Here's how they'll line things up on the defensive side of the ball for Oakland. They enter play ranked 8th against the run in the NFL.
They've established themselves as a top 10 run-stopping unit in the NFL here in their early going. All signs point to me towards them continuing that throughout the season. They look pretty good, pretty darn cohesive to me.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. On the completion, this is Carey. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, it was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
There are the numbers last week for Jay Ajayi. 18 carries, 90 yards. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40.
I can't remember the last time we did a game and a coach didn't talk about establishing the run first. But they've lost 2 straight games, so they still want to do that. But they've got to have some contingencies, some other options. Expect them maybe to throw it a little bit to open up things and maybe run it a little bit more later in the game.
Here's Ajayi. Trying to barrel up in there, but I don't think he got it. Now we'll get a stoppage here as it appears we've got an Eagle slow to get up. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. This is taken at the 15.
Holding. Receiving team.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line.
6:37.
From the gun, it's Carr. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. And the offense does cover this one, but back inside their own 5-yard line.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
6:37.
On 3rd and long, it's Carr. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer.
Whoosh!
Still going. Now a late flag comes in as they got him down via the face mask, and that'll give him even better starting position.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
On the ground, it's Thompson. And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
He completes it to Jones. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a 1st down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Now Thompson, and an alley to run. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Wentz now on 1st down. No gain, and it's 2nd down. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers putting their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level. Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, a piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all. And let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice. So they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, You're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. So just a lone field goal in this first quarter of play. 3-0 is our score, and we're back to Philadelphia after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Raiders in possession of the football, and they've got it here with a first down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
694.
Now a first down carry. It's Hill. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. And credit the tackle to Derek Barnett. On play action, now Carr. And hauled in by Pitta. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Throwing on first down is Carr. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Here's Carr to throw. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long.
Hey, 734.
Operating from the gun. Carr. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. Holding on to the football becoming a little bit of an issue. He had 2 fumbles last week, remember.
I played for a guy that used to talk all the time about creating turbulence in the pocket, making the quarterback jumpy, make him antsy, keep getting after him a little bit, and make sure he thinks about holding on to the ball because you're going after him.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height...
And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Chris Thompson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Eagles add on to their lead.
In as many coaches' meetings as we sit in, we hear the word finish all the time, don't we? And on that play, the back actually finished getting into the end zone, breaking the last tackle. Tried to wrap up, tried to use the proper technique, just wasn't able to get it done.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. Elliott it good with a PAT. And the lead grows to 10-0. Elliott now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
They're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
Going deep for Montgomery. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or two. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future all-pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago. Really, it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
So you have to give a lot of credit to the entire scouting organization. General manager, personnel department, college scouts, it all came together. They evaluated it very well and got a nice payoff. Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he showcases the spin. A pretty good gain before he's taken down. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Holding offense.
Well, they've already allowed 3 sacks in this first half. Now a holding penalty.
So I think drastic measures had to be taken, right? The regular way was not working. He was getting hit almost every snap, it felt like. They had to try to keep him upright.
Benjamin with it over the middle. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tougher, guys trying to get to the football. When they watch film of this game and hand out the grade sheets, he's going to really like getting a double plus on this play. Why? He scrambles and picks up a 1st down. But what else does he do? Protects himself by sliding and avoiding the big hit. Double plus, big-time play. And that's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Sliding out of the pocket. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
I like this effort there. He got it done on his own. But let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the 1st down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to pick up the 1st before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. They only get a hard-fought yard, but that's all they needed. It pays off the decision to go for it, 1st and goal.
If he indeed got it, he didn't get it by much. This is a great push up front, but I think the nose of the football does make it over the line to gain. And whoa, that was definitely cutting it close.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll try to pound it in with Hill. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there. Second and goal. Looking at this now, you got a couple more cracks here this close. Sneak it?
I don't think you even go into a huddle. Just line up, snap it, and fall in behind those guys into the end zone.
29, 637.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. They'll go again from the 3 here on second and goal.
Later 2.
They come out here in the eye. He'll get it up the middle. And they'll get it down just shy of the goal line at about the 1. Calling a gain of 2 as they're knocking on the door now. Third and goal. The Raiders try to move quickly, try to get everybody back to the line.
Well, Gumbo.
They'll run it with Hill. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On now is Kai Forbath to try the field goal. This a fairly straightforward 22-yard short attempt. And Forbath will put this one through, and they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
A gain of 6 there on first.
If you run an out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Got his man, Robbie Anderson. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Throwing on first is Wentz. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Back to the air on second down. Wentz. And complete to Zach Ertz. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. An Eagle first down there. Wentz to Ertz, and the names that end in TZ.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
And that's going to be incomplete. He was looking to get that one to Chris Thompson. And it's second down.
That's a nice catch, but unable to stay in bounds. And remember, it wasn't a wide receiver who works on that all the time.
I was going to say, he likes to get the ball handed to him. Now, don't get me wrong, he's part of the passing game as well, but maybe a little out of his comfort zone there.
Yeah, he might want to have a few words to say to us about that later, but I am still going with you on that one. Wide receivers work on a little bit more.
He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw it, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Wentz again here on 2nd and 10. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that one was nearly picked. Not sure he was accounting for the free safety. That brings up 3rd down. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the 2nd down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the 2nd quarter. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. So they get the 3, increase their lead to close out the half.
Excellent way to end a drive, going to the locker room with a little bit of extra momentum after adding 3 to their total.
Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. The final shot here before half for Carr. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this one is incomplete. So we've come to halftime here in Philly with the Eagles on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Time to give you folks at home a look around the NFL on this first official weekend of fall. So let's get to it. We'll start up in the Pacific Northwest at CenturyLink Field in Seattle. And it's the Texans who are out in front. 2 touchdown passes there for Deshaun Watson. From there, we'll head down to the Big Easy. Check on the Saints at home at the Superdome. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Tampa Bay Bucks. T.Y. Hilton, a touchdown catch in the victory. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the 3rd quarter gets underway. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the 3rd quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spend the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Throwing is Wentz. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Rashawn Melvin. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Carr going to throw. Hard throw, incomplete.
Well, his struggles continue. Open targets, and he keeps missing them, pressing way too much. He may have a big arm, but until he learns how to harness it and have some touch, he's going to continue to struggle.
And Forbath will put this one through, and they will cut the lead back down to a touchdown now at 13-6. So a decent drive there to start the third quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they inch a bit closer.
Yeah, but still lots of time to go in this one. That's why you hear that clapping on the sidelines, right? Hey, got some points. As you said, inching their way back in. Time left to go out and get that victory.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Carson Wentz and the Eagles make their way out to the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold them.
Throwing now is Wentz. Wide open receiver complete. And he does take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
Holding offense.
Brutal, so take away the long touchdown.
It's a cruel game sometimes, partner.
Come on now, let's go. Here we go.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And a short pickup here as he'll get across the 10 to the 11-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup. It'll be second down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Now Wentz throwing on second down. He's going to float this one deep. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off near the 44. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. They set themselves behind the chains, tried to get it all back in one play, and it backfired.
Didn't it feel like a pitcher working his way into a 3-0 count, right? You're behind. What do your coaches always tell you? Get it back one pitch at a time. In this case, they tried to get it back right away, and it didn't work out.
The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. On second down, here's Carr. And he whips that one incomplete there. He was looking to get it to Allen Hurns that time. And now it's third down.
You know they wanted, you know they expected. They needed him to be sharp coming out after the half. Unfortunately, he's missed his first 3 throws. I wonder if he got out late and missed his warm-up time.
The whole team did come out a little bit later than usual. I don't know, maybe there's something to that.
Must have been a heck of a halftime speech.
Yeah, maybe just trying to rally the troops back from this deficit. And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
7:34.
Carr going to go on fourth down. It's caught. Jones. Give them credit. They knew what they wanted to dial up on fourth. They executed it for 9 yards, and the offense stays out there.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Carr now, 5 straight completions here in this second half, 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And past the 30 down to about the 27. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
93.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose. And it's picked up by the Eagles.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Tim Williams makes the tackle.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to third down.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big, big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5 on 3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit. I think the training and practice broke down on that play because he simply didn't run the route deep enough to get to the first down marker, despite what was a really nice catch and toe tap on the sideline.
Well, that's third down 101. You got to go to the marker, know where it is. Elsewhere, NFL scoreboard, third quarter now in Tennessee. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. On play action, it's Carr. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Jordan Hicks coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. Carr to throw on 2nd down. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
We're good. 694. Express. Purdue.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Carr, he's going to go for a big play downfield. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line.
Well, it's 3rd and long, and you've got a few different ways to play it offensively. But this is not the type of offense that's going to wave the white flag. They're going to keep chucking it. And this time, it results in an interception.
So after the INT, here's Wentz. And Jones has it over the middle. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is that now with his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Shotgun now for Wentz. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the ball, as we just saw there.
And brought down, but the juke, the very nice juke, gives him the 1st down yardage there. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
So how would you describe that one, partner? Workmanlike right there, getting that 1st down, blue-collar type football?
Yeah, only needed 3, got 4, just enough. I like workmanlike.
I think it's pretty cool myself. Everything doesn't have to be high glamour in this game.
Defensively, the tackle by Cam Chancellor.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the 3rd quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the 2nd half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And this is caught. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Robbie Anderson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Eagles had 6 to their lead. Elliott good on the extra point. A good, sustained drive there in this 3rd quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
This will be fielded at the 8. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. A big play that time for the Raiders. 49 yards. Now a play fake here on 1st down. His throw caught right around the 6. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. It's Raider football here, but they're on the short side of the scoreboard right now as we begin the 4th. On the quick handoff, it's Juszczyk. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
That's someone who's pretty happy right there. That's the defense coordinator. Body after body getting to him before he can get started.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Working from the gun, it's Carr. Steps away to his left. And the Raiders are in for 6. Touchdown. Derek Carr, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Raiders have cut it back to within a score.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it works very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
Kai Forbath on for the extra point. Forbath able to convert the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. So after that hot start, the numbers here show the decline. What has the defense done adjustment-wise?
Sometimes when you have a running back who's getting off to a hot start, you've got to catch him before he really gets going. So you change what you do across the defensive front. Instead of the linebackers being back a few yards, you bring them up closer. It's what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, taking away a lot of blocking angles and gaps and maybe stopping him before he can get going.
Mugging the line of scrimmage, okay.
Yeah, in this case.
Well, they've done a good job on these receivers, pretty much held them in check. They're a little too close for comfort.
And you're always looking for a play to get you going, right? You're looking for someone to make one. But maybe this penalty, this pass interference call, that can help shake them loose.
Caught on the right side by Jones. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
And it's caught. And he's brought down. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick.
And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. Chris Thompson, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Eagles add on to their lead. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. And all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They fake the handoff. Now Carr. Going deep for Montgomery. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. The Raiders on 3rd down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This is 3rd and 4. Shotgun now for Carr. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. It's taken to the 26. A 39-yard punt, a return of 5. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They'll run with Thompson. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. It was Maurice Hurst who got him down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bifema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Now, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, 4th quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And some room for him there as he'll take this up to about the 15. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. Now Carr throwing on 2nd down. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. And the Eagles have recovered.
Brandon, I don't want to violate any of our broadcasting rules by declaring a game over before it's over. But that one, that puts them in real jeopardy there.
Absolutely. It was a 2-possession game. It is a 2-possession game at this stage in the 4th. They needed points out of that drive.
And obviously now, no chance at all to get those points that they so desperately needed.
It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used.
And he is going to go down back at the 11-yard line.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
Wentz now on 3rd and goal. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember.
Please tell me this doesn't come off as snarky. But that's a relative chip shot. I mean, you've got to be able to execute that one. I don't care what they design on the other side about trying to block the kick. That should be 3 points on the board.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. If you're out at 55, 60 yards, low trajectory from here, you get that thing up, this should be 3.
Yeah, there's nothing routine in football, but this one really almost should be. Snap, hold, kick, ball through the post. Didn't happen that way.
His throw incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one up to about the 23. He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4. From the gun, it's Carr. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
And once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. Now Carr, got to have this one. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. They go play action here on 1st down. Forced out to his left. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard. To throw on 2nd down. Carr, a dump off now to Hill. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44. A pair of first downs gives him a 1st and 10 up at the 44. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10.
694. Hey, 734. 618.
Throwing again. Carr. Looking and finding Allen Hurns. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. The result, a 1st down as a quick slant gets him 14. Carr now on 1st down. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there.
808.
Carr will try it again on 2nd down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Give him 3 on the play, and it'll be 3rd down. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score.
734. Hey, 734.
Now Carr again. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. The Raiders try to move quickly, try to get everybody back to the line. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. He's going to let it fly. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Eagles defense able to hold. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that one.
They're down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
They run it here with Thompson. And he stopped immediately there. Now whistles, and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. Again, a run with Thompson. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. Now the Raiders are going to use another timeout here as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Here we go.
And they'll run it here. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Now here's a whistle and a timeout. It's called by the receiving team here as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Oakland ready to take the field. They had a great drive going last time. They were moving the ball, and then all of a sudden it just stalled out. So we'll see what they can do here, Charles.
And it's over.
And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Counting down toward a minute to go in this football game. Looking to throw on second down. Carr. And now he'll tuck it and run. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's third down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down. From the gun, Carr. And this is going to be incomplete.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and give some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. Finds his target, Montgomery. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. Fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
That one goes for 24 yards. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. One final try now for Carr. Escaping the pressure right. Now a desperation throw. And this is going to be caught. So it affects the final score, not the outcome, but it is a late touchdown here on the game's final play. Doesn't affect the outcome, but, hey, nice job there to put it in the end zone for the final play.
Could it affect other things? Sometimes these types of scores are ones that we don't consider big at the time. Then later on we find out maybe that was a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Or, of course, in the fantasy football world, these points mean a lot.
A lot there. Won't be enough, but here's a final chance at the extra point. The extra point here is good, but the late touchdown can only draw the score a bit closer as this game is over. Well, Charles, they were close in the end, but they couldn't get that last play, that last little miracle play done. They were within striking distance, but couldn't find a way to score.
They definitely had hope. They definitely had opportunity. Just unable to cash in at the end. Not an easy play by any stretch, but they definitely had a chance.
So for the Eagles, they're into the win column now as they move to 1-2 on the young season. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Washington Redskins. Meanwhile, for Oakland, the early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they will try to turn it around next week as they head down to Carson for a matchup with the LA Chargers. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.